Yes, guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel for your second Chelsea video of the day. This morning, or earlier lunchtime-ish in the UK, you guys got your Chelsea news. There's a link in the description. Make sure you check it out if you haven't already done so. This vid, we are going to go into some Chelsea tactics. We're going to get the tactics board up. We're going to talk about Chelsea and how I think we should line up here against AC Milan. After yesterday, seeing debuts, Stamford Bridge debuts for Isugo, Pedro, Bino, Gittins, Hato, Esteval. I am so excited going into this season. This is the final pre-season friendly, the second of two fixtures this weekend in the Visit Malta Weekender. And I've said it before, but it does sound as though it's some kind of BBC Three series. But Chelsea so far, we're cruising. We beat Bayer Leverkusen yesterday 2-0. And the response, ever since that, I'm looking across the timeline, and I don't think it's been so universally positive and with such an air of excitement as we've got right now. I think even the hardest critics for Chelsea right now might be looking at this and thinking, I think something's happening here, because I genuinely think it is. Every single one of the new signings that we're seeing is clicking in the Chelsea team immediately. And I think a lot needs to be said about the atmosphere at the club. And I know that we lifted a trophy yesterday, the Visit Malta trophy. You got Man United celebrating the Snapdragon trophy and all that stuff. Look, these pre-season tournaments, I know it's probably only a micro level psychological boost to lift a trophy because the players don't really care about it that much. And it is more just for the branding, of course. But I will say, Chelsea aren't just winning pre-season trophies and going into this season. We are the world champions. The gold badge on our shirt right now, it looks absolutely wonderful. And of course, I've got you guys the discount code GBFC10. Gets you 10% off everything at the Mega Store this summer. There's QR codes on the screen of pretty much all of my videos at the moment. And also links in the description. Going into this game against AC Milan, in the first one against Leverkusen, I'm like, I don't think we're going to be ready for this. We have literally only had 2.5 weeks or maybe even about just over 3 weeks of a holiday. And now we're back and we're trying to get some kind of match fitness to go into Crystal Palace at the start of the season. Any qualms, any questions or doubts that I might have had about whether or not these players will be mentally there, physically there, completely squashed in that game against Leverkusen. Chelsea were in control, were dominant in this match from minute number 1 all the way through till the end of the game. And I think when we talk about winning trophies and that feeling that it brings, right now, Chelsea have got more momentum than any side in the league going into this season. You could argue that Liverpool do too. They've had a massive transfer window, Premier League champions by an absolute canter country mile last season. But Chelsea, we beat PSG 3-0 in a final of the flipping Club World Cup. That gold badge is there for 4 more years. And the signings that we've made, right? When we think about selling Noni Madueke, I'm looking at even Genesis Antwi beating his man yesterday. Noni was very good at beating his man, but it was decision fatigue, I think, that let Noni Madueke down. You bring Jamie Gittins on yesterday. Look at the way that he sees the game. All of the passes, intricate in the final third, quick feet, and he gets the ball out and Chelsea have opportunities from it. Even the position of Liam Delap. I spoke about this in this morning's video, but Liam Delap up front actually being a target man, staying around the box, players looking for him. We could have had a couple of goals from crosses again yesterday, but we finally got someone there. Dario Isugo. When Caicedo came off, didn't really matter. Isugo did everything that Caicedo was doing. And I'm not saying that he's on Caicedo's level yet, absolutely not. And even Maresca has said, off the ball, he's brilliant. On the ball, maybe he needs to know a little bit more about where to be. And he's obviously going to learn that from one of the best in the game right now, Moises Caicedo. We have not even talked about Esteval in this video because I've been waxing lyrical about him all bloody week. But the man is seriously brilliant. And I think this Chelsea team, we didn't even see Enzo Fernandez feature yesterday. So I think we should be excited right now. And I think Chelsea fans have got all the right to be. And look, we've been in this position before where maybe we go into a season thinking, you know what? We might do something this year, but I don't think we have had a better summer, not just in terms of signings, but the actual momentum that we have just gathered all the way through it, from the end of the season, through the summer, and then going into this season. Even last summer, I remember being out in America for the pre-season tour, right? And I remember watching us concede 4 and get peppered, battered by Celtic. And I'm like, what the bloody hell is going on? Enzo Maresca has been working at this football club for a year, 2 trophies, top 4, and the club are backing him. The signings that have been made are improvements to the squad, and it makes us better, and I'm certain that we can compete this season. We've just bought so much class. But without any further ado, I'm going to build my Chelsea starting 11 here to face AC Milan, and I've built something that I think could be semi-similar to what we could see start the game potentially next week against Crystal Palace. When we're building these Chelsea lineups, I know that there's a lot of players that you might think, Benson, how have you not included this guy in the starting 11? He's better than him. He needs to be playing there. At the moment, it is very much still teething, and this is pre-season. And as much as it might have looked very good yesterday, I still think Maresca is going to be doing a little bit of this as opposed to this right now. I think we're still kind of learning what the best way to set these teams out are. So, without any further ado, let's begin with Robert Sanchez. I put him in goal in the preview for the last game, and the fact that Philip Jorgensen played the full 90 in this one, Sanchez will definitely play this game because Jorgensen got 90. He'll get a 90. I don't think you can not give Sanchez any minutes going into the first week of the season next year. And unless something mental has happened and Philip Jorgensen is all of a sudden the number 1 after Sanchez put in the best Chelsea performance of his life, then I'm pretty sure this is what we are going to see here. Let's move now into an unchanged back 4. I've gone with Gusto, Josh Achampong, Chalobah, and Marc Cucurella. What we've got here is the ability to see Malo Gusto getting forward. And I think a big question mark that we will either know the answers to or we'll keep seeing it change and rotate this season will be Reece James' starting minutes. Is he going to start every game? I'm not sure. It depends what side Chelsea want to have that overlap in fullback. But I think when Esteval's playing, I think you need Malo Gusto there because it's just that extra man that makes the opposition defence not sure on who to track first. Gusto on the overlap? Or are you going to put an extra man on trying to stop Esteval cutting inside? So with this team, you guys guessed it, I've got Esteval starting again. So Malo Gusto is in there. Josh Achampong. I'm seriously backing him. I've said it now in 3 videos basically in a row. I don't necessarily think Chelsea have to go in for a new centre-back this summer. With Tosin on the bench, with, Badiashile coming back from injury, Wesley Fofana coming back from injury, maybe even Reece James could fill in that position as well. But I certainly think we should look at it maybe because Colwell's quality is so high. But I look at this back line and I'm very confident with it. Achampong and Trevor Chalobah, and obviously Marc Cucurella is unbelievable in himself. So let's move now into these two, Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo. Andre Santos was fantastic. Absolutely nothing wrong with him whatsoever, but I still think it is Enzo and Caicedo in that pivot as the main 2 here at the moment for Chelsea. Enzo Fernandez, I'm not entirely sure why he didn't feature in that game against Bayer Leverkusen. I think he was maybe one of the last ones to get back from holiday. Moises Caicedo just looked absolutely brilliant again. All of the boys, literally 5 days in training. And we're already looking as though we've actually been doing pre-season for flipping 3 weeks. And it's been 3 weeks off after lifting another trophy. So let's move now into the Chelsea attack that I want to start this game. And I know what you're saying. Joao Pedro's got to start, Benson. He's got to start. I want to see this up top. I want to see something similar to what we saw in that first half yesterday. But instead of Tyreek George starting, I want to see Jamie Gittins in this team. I want to see that link up with Marc Cucurella on that left-hand side. And as I said earlier, I think Enzo Maresca right now is very much going to be in that process of looking towards Crystal Palace. But we've not really got any other non-competitive time to actually give minutes to new signings with other players that you know will be featuring often, such as Marc Cucurella. So for that, I think we need to see Gittins with Cucurella in the same team. Liam Delap, he only touched the ball 13 times against Bayer Leverkusen, but the fact he was even there and he was getting involved with defenders and trying to get on the end of things, I think is a really good sign. So I didn't see it as a negative performance, and I think he'll get the start again. It's going to be very difficult this season for Maresca to keep everybody happy, and I know that it's only a friendly, and of course, as a result of it being a friendly, we can make lots of changes. But right now, we are still getting a feeler as to what Maresca's preferences are. So, this is the team that I would like to start the game for Chelsea tomorrow against AC Milan. And this is the way I would like it to end. I think Esteval needs as many minutes as we possibly can. And you can see here, I've got Liam Delap with a full 90 minutes, which probably won't happen. This is just what I'd like to see. And I don't think we'll get all the way to the 90th minute like this. I think eventually João Pedro will end up top. I think Delap will come off after about 75. But I want to see Esteval in the 10 again. I think Cole Palmer, we've got to protect him. We saw what happened yesterday. Those fouls that were flying in, particularly from Jarrell Quansah. I do not want Cole picking up an injury before the season even begins. So with this one, we've got 4 changes here. In the back line, Esugo and Santos, I think stylistically, Esugo will be very much the Caicedo type of player. And Andre Santos, we can see progressing and joining the attack, as he did so well and relatively often for Strasbourg last season. But I want to see Neto with more minutes too. As good as Esteval was, as exciting as it is that he's just joined the club, scored his first goal, and really looks the part, I don't think we can sleep on Pedro Neto this season. I think this should be a good enough team to beat AC Milan. But let's move over to the tactics board and have a little look at how this formation could potentially change as the game goes on. So what I would like to see, because we know that Malo Gusto isn't really suited to coming into this position. Malo Gusto is not an inverted fullback. So I want to see Marco Correa come in there. And I kind of want to see something similar. If Chelsea can dominate the ball the same way that we did against Bayer Leverkusen, then Malo Gusto can just be operating in this area here. Because what Gusto was doing very well, that I don't think we've really seen from him before, is in this kind of area of the pitch here, when he's scanning around, looking to see if it's the right thing to put the ball into this kind of area, or if he's just going to be offloading it to Esteval or Cole Palmer. I thought Malo Gusto's link-up play was actually very good yesterday, and I think he's a player who I think we know now what he can and can't do, but I think Enzo Maresca is still looking to try and improve what he can do in this area of the field, because he hasn't scored a Chelsea goal yet, so I'm not expecting him to get too far forward. If Chelsea are on the attack, we can go with something like this in the build-up, and I think Enzo Fernandez, we know just what he can do in the final third, and I think he will be important this season to get into these more advanced areas in the pitch. And then for the second half, I would absolutely love to see something a little bit like this. Chelsea going with Tosin in that central centre-back position, Reece James filling in here, Anselmino in the left centre-back with Hato and Esugo, who I think have absolutely got the legs to cover all of this ground in this area of the field, allowing Santos to link up with that attack a little bit. We've got that Brazilian trio there of Andre Santos, João Pedro and Esteval, and then Pedro Neto, who can hold that width outside, but also cut in as well. It's like a 3-3-1, really, come the end of this game. I think this is a very exciting matchup again. AC Milan, I've not really spoken about them too much. They played against Leeds today, and they were winning 1-0 when I last checked, and then I started making this video, so I don't know what their scoreline was, but look, I'm excited going into this season. Whatever happens tomorrow, again, I think Chelsea are back us right now. We're in an incredible run of form. We've won 15 out of our last 17 matches. And this is the final game that we have got going into the Premier League season. So this is about getting minutes for players that didn't probably play the last one, such as Enzo Fernandez. I think we will see João Pedro play a lot more minutes. I know I didn't start him, but I think we could also start seeing whether or not he's going to fit in to other areas across that attacking line. But look, score prediction, just for a little bit of fun for this friendly, I'm going to say 2-1 Chelsea. I mean, I'd love to say we keep a clean sheet again, but at the moment, I'm very, very confident. And going into that game next week against Crystal Palace, not sure we're going to learn too much from these friendlies, but I would say that maybe Enzo Maresca does pick a team or ends with a team tomorrow that might be something similar to what we see at home to Palace at Stamford Bridge next weekend. So make sure you're subscribed to GBFC. There is going to be a big watch along coming your way tomorrow. There might be a Chelsea news video on Sunday morning if there's any updates. At the moment, it's all gone very quiet with Xavi Simons. He played for Leipzig this afternoon, nearly got an incredible breakaway assist, and it just went wide of the post. But he's looking good. He's looking fit. He apparently had a cold. Now he's back in the team. Let's see what happens. But currently, no Chelsea news updates. If you do want to get anything from the Chelsea Megastore this summer, use the discount code GBFC10. There's a QR code on the screen or a link in the description. I'm excited for this friendly. I'll be live tomorrow on GBFC, so stay tuned for that one. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Come on, you Blues.